lot of times, I find single people praying to get out of their single season too fast. Nothing wrong with being single. In fact, being single is a gift. It's going to be one of the best seasons of your life. If you know that you are in the single season of your life, don't try to rush out of it. Enjoy being single for as long as you get the opportunity to be single. When you are single, for instance, let me give you an example. You see, Apostle Paul said something. He said, when you are single, the beautiful thing about being single is that you can spend time just loving on the Lord and nobody else. When you are a married person, one of the things that you will find that will happen is that your time, your attention, your energy, your finances will be divided into two. Ask any married person you know. It will be divided into two. So that time that you're rushing to be married, when you do get married, because you didn't spend time enjoying your single season, you're probably going to feel stressed out because you got married too soon. Imagine as a single person, you're coming back from work. Now you live in this city and I know there's no traffic in Abuja. But if you live in Lagos like me, you wake up at 4:30 in the morning to get to work. And you will be frustrated on the journey because there will be traffic at 6:30. You will probably take you like 3 hours to get to the office. And then you get to the office because everybody's frustrated by traffic. Your boss will frustrate you even further. And then you guys finish all of that and maybe you close, maybe about 6, 8, 9, and then you try to get home. You enter another traffic. You eventually get home. If you're single and you're tired, when you get home, if there's nothing to eat, guess what you will do? You will sleep. You're gonna sleep. Because there's nobody that is disturbing your life. So you come home, you crash. You can even buy gala on the road. Or last, you do Indomie. You eat it and you crash. What if you're married? As you're walking into the door, maybe you and your husband are coming together. You enter. He will go and sit down and say, honey, what are we eating? And you're wondering, this traffic that we all came from, didn't you eat that traffic? But you're going to be expected to do something. Even if you don't love your husband, your children are going to cry, Mommy, we're hungry. That's stress. When you were single, you could finish after this and still go home and pray for 4 hours in tongues. Nobody's going to bother you. Study the word, fellowship, sing, do anything you like. But if you're married and the man of God is in the mood, prayer is going to suspend. Nobody's telling you these things. But it will significantly divide your time, your energy, your resources. So when you are single, enjoy the season of being single. Being single is a gift. You find that in 1 Corinthians 7:32. Well, let me try and see if I can read it. I'm reading the Message translation. It says, this is Apostle Paul speaking. It says, I want you to live as free of complications as possible. It says, when you are married, when you're single, you are free to concentrate on simply pleasing the master. Marriage involves you in all the nuts and bolts of domestic life and in wanting to please your spouse, leading to so many demands on your attention. The time and energy that married people spend on caring for and nurturing each other, the unmarried can spend in becoming whole and holy instruments of God. I'm trying to be helpful and make it as easy as possible for you, not make things harder. It says, all I want is for you to be able to develop a way of life in which you can spend plenty of time together with the master without a lot of distraction. When you are single, you have time. You can travel the world. I always advise single people, this is the season to learn new things. Travel, enjoy yourself. But now if I want to travel, I have to ask my husband. Because he has to fit into his own plan and his own timing as well. But before, all I needed was to grab my passport, carry my bag, make sure I have money, and move. But too many people are trying to get out of the single season that was created for a reason. It was created to give you time to know yourself and to know the master. So this is not a time for you to complain. This is not a time for you to pray, God, when? This is a time for you to really enjoy this season. Second thing I need to establish is that being single is not a sin. It's not a sin. In fact, like I said, it's highly recommended. Apostle Paul said it again. He says, sometimes I wish everyone was single like me. He said it's a simpler life in many ways. But he also established that celibacy is not for everyone any more than marriage is. And he said God gives the gift of the single life. That's why I said single life is a gift. He says he gives the gift of a single life to some and the gift of the married life to others. That's 1 Corinthians 7:7. Still the Message translation. It's not a sin if you want to get married. That's why I don't understand how people allow social media to influence them so much. People who are happily married in their homes pretending that they are not happily married and shouting on social media and telling you marriage is a scam, men are scum, saying all kinds of things. And they're discouraging you from a life that you should have. If you want to get married, it's fine. If you want to stay single for yourself, it's fine. Absolutely. But it must be a decision that you make, and you must be fully persuaded by it. And so it says, if you want to get married, it's fine. But if you want to stay single, it's a simpler life, to be honest. So there's nothing wrong with being single. Third thing I need to establish is that not everyone will get married. I'm answering that question before you ask it. Because I know a lot of people ask that question. That must everybody get married? No. Not everyone will get married. Let me read to you Matthew 19 from verse 11. I'm reading Message translation. And here Jesus was speaking. Now you see the thing about single. When the Bible talks about you being single, the Bible also expects that, in fact, being single in the Bible is synonymous with being celibate. So a lot of people are going around saying they are single. They are not. In heaven, you have married like 5 or 7 times. Because marriage is not the vows that makes marriage. It's not the coming to the altar. It's not the white dress. It is the sex, the joining. And the two shall become one flesh. That's what the Bible says. So when the Bible is talking about single, in fact, if you read the Bible, it talks about an unmarried, it talks about virgin. The words are interchangeable. So these days I find a lot of people who are already married to about 10 people saying, is it by force to marry? Until you are married. Just own it. All you need to do is now do it properly. Go through counseling and come to church and let's know that you are wed. And stop pretending and shouting on social media and say by force to be married. Everybody, well, it's not by force. But if you're going to stay single, be single. Be single. It also means be celibate. It also means be focused on the Lord and on the plans and purposes He has for you. So Jesus said in Matthew 19, He said, not everyone will get married. Jesus said it. You know, He said, not everyone is mature enough to live a married life. I need to think about that. Not everyone is mature enough to live a married life. He said it requires a certain aptitude and grace. Marriage is not for everyone. This is Jesus speaking, no, not me. This is Jesus. He says marriage is not for everyone. He said some from birth seemingly never give marriage a thought. He says others never get asked. So there are some people that will never be toasted. Hard truths, but it's there. And then he says some others never get accepted. So uncle, you may toast 25 girls. Nobody's going to agree. And then he says, but there are some that decide not to get married for kingdom reasons. And he says, but if you are capable of growing into the largeness of marriage, then do it. I know this is where I also need to emphasize to the singles. Don't let anyone pressure you into marriage. People will push you into marriage, and when you enter there, they will leave you alone. After wedding, you know, the wedding day, you have aunties that act as if they're going to follow you into the marriage. They wear sweat, they'll dance, they say, oh, it's our day. Just they'll clean your sweat, do everything, come. The minute the wedding is over, you realize that it's just you and this man, and you have no clue what you are doing. Don't allow anybody pressure you into marriage. If you have any aunties disturbing you, then why are you not married? When are we going to eat rice? Say, auntie, when you cook it. Let them not use your destiny to fry gari. Let them cook rice in their house. Say, auntie, I will even send you a carton of chicken if that will make it better. Don't let anybody stress you.